This is the Milo Sweet Podcast, where you'll learn to get unstuck. Start now. Conquer life's challenges by learning to do difficult. Find quick and clever ways to overcome. Wait, did you think life was going to be easy? Remember, all of your excuses are now dead to me. Let's get started. Guess what time it is? It's time for you to hit the subscribe button and find just 1% that you think will benefit from this. But if you're feeling a little generous, right? Or you're super free with your time right now, probably doing nothing because you're listening to this. Well, maybe if you're doing something, actually just make yourself free right now. Hit subscribe. What are you waiting for? Hit it. Come on. Hit subscribe. Hi, Irina.
Hi, Mila. Hi, how are you today?
Good. I'm excited. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm kind of fly by my seat kind of person. So a little bit last minute on sending the link.
Yeah, that was very last minute, but in any case, I'm very glad that you invited me here. So I'm pumped to be here.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to welcome you to the show, and then I'll have you tell a little bit about yourself, and then we'll just go from there.
All right. Yeah, we can go like this.
Okay. Welcome to the Milo Sweet Podcast, Irina. Thank you so much for being here. Let's hear a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm an online entrepreneur, and currently I'm launching my own software. And since the pandemic came, and it has been extremely challenging, but still it's a very interesting time to be launching a software. I haven't previously launched my software. I was mainly working with other entrepreneurs, and I was working as a project manager. So I'm not totally new to the game. But
right.
This is my brainchild. This is my first project where I'm extremely responsible for everything, for marketing, sales, getting it up to speed, and getting it to the hands of the customers. So that's a very new thing for me.
It's honestly the same boat over here, because the more you start to, connect with other entrepreneurs, or even if you work for one and you're doing contract work, it's very different when you're thinking, I'm going to start my own thing. I'm going to do this. So from one end, it's exciting and exhilarating. On the other end, you're freaking out. You're like, oh my God, How am I going to do this? It's overwhelming. So I'm here for you, girl. Now, you told me in 2014 that you owned a fulfillment center in China. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. That was my first entrepreneurial endeavor, or how I call it, an adventure. So I was a typical office worker at the time. And I just had that idea that I should travel the world, be one of those digital nomads with just a laptop and going somewhere. And of all places we could have traveled to, we chose going to China to actually start a business there. We both were typical employees at the time. We thought that we knew everything about the business. We knew that we thought that we were very prepared for this. But actually, it didn't turn out well. But it was a very, how to say that? It was a very interesting experience. So we moved to Guangzhou, and this feeling when you open the curtains in your hotel room, you look out and you see that you are no longer in Kansas. So this was totally different view that we were used to, because previously we were living in a European city, and the biggest building that we have seen only had 9 stores, maybe 9 floors or not more. And then we went to China, where typical, just even the dwelling houses, they have 32 floors. You know, I
Wow.
mean, just for those, I don't know, I mean, sleeping districts where people just dwell and they, I mean, just I don't know, they went to work and all that. So it was a very, I mean, it was a very shocking experience just when we first opened the curtains. So yeah, after that, yeah, I can just keep it short. So after that, we actually, when we were starting, we were working online, but at some point, it all went to, I mean, we just focused on shipping the goods from China to other countries. And that's how we ended up with a fulfillment center business. Yeah. And yeah.
Well, no, that actually, it's, I like the way you were telling the story. I was just following along. So wait, you wanted to be a digital nomad. You started a fulfillment business. What product did you focus on? Tell me like one thing you did maybe good, and maybe tell me how did it end, or how did the adventure end? Let's say it that way.
Yeah, all right. So the thing about the fulfillment center is that you don't choose the product, you just fulfill whatever the customer wants to fulfill. So we were providing the access to all the Chinese suppliers, Alibaba from the Chinese end of the border, because there is an internal website for China only that has way more suppliers that are they don't have licenses to ship goods overseas. That's why we're not selling them overseas. So that's how we gained some competitive advantage, because we had the access to the widest network of suppliers on planet Earth. Yeah. So we provided our customers an ability to choose goods from those suppliers, and then those suppliers sent the goods to our warehouse, and then we ship them overseas with all the shipping labels, and we handled all the fulfillment parts. So the only thing that we didn't handle at the time was drop shipping, just because drop shipping was something that we couldn't handle at that point. We were focusing mainly on wholesalers. So we were shipping goods in big volumes, not just like one parcel, one customer, you know, the kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
So how does one get started? If someone, is that still a viable job? I would assume so. Like, how does one get started in fulfillment shipping?
Yeah, well, that's one thing that currently we actually created a software for handling all the logistics operations, so tracking the shipments, sending notifications to customers, and we're going to introduce new features very soon for fulfillment purposes, like how do you accept the goods? Because I can tell you one funny story. So when we actually had our first biggest customer, $15,000, but it was a big order at the time. So he ordered a lot of clothes, and actually the supplier with hoodies, they tripped us up. So basically they sent the batch without one color. They didn't include the whole color, and we didn't notice that. Yeah, and we didn't notice that because we didn't have any automation at our disposal. We were just accepting the goods manually and counting them and taking pictures. So yeah, that was a lot of work. So and at that point, we almost lost the whole margin from that contract, just because we were paying for our costly mistake. We didn't notice that the whole color was missing, and that's close to our whole margin from that order. So,
well, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And that's when we decided that we can either automate, or we continue to make those mistakes, and our customers suffer, and us, our margins suffer because of this. And that's when we created our system, which, later, I can just tell you how the story ends. Unfortunately, it's, at some point, it was it was a New Year 2016. The country that we were shipping the goods, mainly, it took maybe 80% of our supply volume. The country suffered an economic crisis, and we were left with a lot of cost, because we had a warehouse, we had our apartment and everything was adding up. And our customers just simply stopped ordering the goods for 2 months. That was enough to kill our business at the time.
Ah.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. At that point, we just decided that it was too much hassle and we can no longer sustain this business model. We can wait it out. But for that, we need to, borrow money from our parents. This was very embarrassing. We just decided, okay, we're going to stop this, come back, come back home. And then, that's how the story ends. But we were left with a system on our hands. So right now, what we did, we just adapted that system for the needs of our entrepreneurs all around the world. So, and that's the thing that became TrackMage. So TrackMage is for tracking shipments and for fulfillment purposes. And again, inventory and warehouse management is going to be added a little bit later, but we're planning to do that.
Well, this is wonderful. I think you hit the nail on the head with something truly important, is that we have to allow ourselves to be curious, take adventures, learn from those adventures, because there will be failure along the way. But if you don't learn from it, like let's just say you killed that business model, you didn't take any of the information with you, you just left it, back in China and did not allow that to create new ideas in your brain. Or use it as a solution for someone else's problems, you wouldn't have TrackMage, right? How do you say it again? TrackMage?
Originally it was called TrackMagic. We still own the domain. But now it's TrackMage, like wizard, track wizard. Yeah. TrackMage.
TrackMage. Okay, I was going to say TrackMagic. And then I was like, wait, I don't think that's what you just said. Okay, so you wouldn't have been able to even develop that. And I think if you're listening out there, it's really important that you allow yourself to learn from your own self, because there's beauty in that. And this is really a helpful tool for a lot of people right now. I think what you're providing is the ability to really be involved in your business. Location makes it a little bit challenging, because there are a lot of opportunities that you can make in the fulfillment shipment business, but it can be a little leery when you're learning and you're putting huge amounts up and you don't know where it's going.
Yeah, the beauty of this business is that e-commerce currently is totally online. So you can even ship the goods or sell the goods that you don't own. This is the drop shipping model, where you don't even touch the product. Everything is done by your fulfillment center or by your supplier from China or from other countries, because currently we have some restrictions due to Corona situation, and people still find out how to ship a good. The thing about
I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I think it's important, though, that if you're spending money that you can track it. I just think that's really important. Yeah. For me, that was my hesitation. I mean, I can't speak for other entrepreneurs, but I'm very frugal and I really like to know where my pennies go, not dollars, my pennies. So for me, to put forth a lot of money on something that I'm kind of just trusting, it's very frequent mistake, it's helpful.
That's a very frequent mistake that a lot of e-commerce entrepreneurs make right out of the gate. I hear it a lot on social media when people just invest a lot of money into inventory and then they have trouble selling that inventory. That's why, a proper way to start a business in this space would be to first create your sales pages, create a funnel or some other place where you can collect orders and payments, and only then fulfill those orders that you already sold. This is, how to say that? This is your insurance. Because if you cannot sell the goods without having to buy those goods, it puts you at risk. Because let's imagine you were to sell t-shirts, and for some reason you decided that it's a good idea to produce those t-shirts in China and order 1,000 t-shirts. Now you have your garage full of t-shirts, but well, what does it give you? it doesn't give you the sales, it doesn't give you the customer base, it doesn't give you your social media presence or a brand or any of that sort. So first thing, you need to just create the marketing presence. So like the facade, even if you don't have your product right now, that's not the problem. Some people even start on Kickstarter, they just pitch the idea and people support them and give them money, and then that idea becomes the reality. Yeah.
I think that's really important, Irina, because I think the biggest thing that I would like to solve with my podcast is just giving perspective on how people overcome challenges, because when you're uneducated or you're ignorant in an area, you can make a lot of assumptions like, okay, I get my t-shirts, I do this, because sometimes we're looking for something tangible, but there is a lot of information out there that can help you protect your business, protect your ideas, but not have a lot of loss. You can minimize your risk by educating yourself and trial and erroring it without a lot of financial cost.
Yeah.
First, like you said, to see if it's a viable idea. And then when you know it's not, you kind of know what not to spend your money on. It kind of saves you the headache of making bigger mistakes.
All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening too. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like for real. No, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.